This time I want to talk about that terrorist attack that happened recently on London Bridge. Strangely enough, that happened not too long after I released a video about knife crime, specifically the knife crime that's going on in London. Funny that I just make a video about knife crime and there you go, terrorism with a knife. So from what I've gathered so far, the guy used a kitchen knife to, I think he stabbed about 5 people, 2 of them died, and then the police shot him. They thought he had a bomb vest on or something. They basically all just backed away and just shot him there and then. Good. He's a terrorist. No sympathies whatsoever. The less terrorists we have on the streets, the better. Honestly, I will say, please excuse the knives and gear on the camera right now. It's not really relevant in any way, shape, or form to this video. It's just a background. It's just something pretty for us knife nuts to look at while I talk about this. That's part of my channel is speaking about things like terrorism and knife crime because I fully believe that we should have the right to carry something for self-defense. Now that's not why these items are on the table in front of you. It's just, like I said, it's just eye candy. We don't have the right to carry anything at all for self-defense. Not a single goddamn item. Anything you do carry in your pocket for self-defense immediately becomes an offensive weapon. I did say that this stuff isn't really relevant, but I guess it is. Something like a Swiss Army knife is completely legal to carry so long as the cutting edge is less than 3 inches and it's non-locking. But as soon as you say this is now for self-defense, that immediately becomes an offensive weapon and it's then illegal to have on you. And that to me is the issue. The fact that we're not even allowed something like pepper spray to defend ourselves against a knife-wielding terrorist. I mean, he had a 6-inch long kitchen knife. Those are illegal to carry unless you've got a good reason. And funny enough, I don't think he was going to London Bridge to pitch a tent to go camping. See what I'm saying here? So most of those people on that bridge had nothing to defend themselves. I mean, I don't know if you've looked at the story, what happened, but it's sad, but it's slightly amusing at the same time. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm sure someone's going to turn around and say something, whatever, I don't care, call me what you want. 2 people actually did fight back. One of them used a fire extinguisher. I'm not really sure where he got a fire extinguisher in the middle of a bridge. And the other one used a narwhal tusk, which is a hell of a defense weapon. I think either he got it from the wall or something. To be honest, I didn't look right into it, but I've seen this so many places that use a narwhal tusk. I think he must have got it from inside a museum or something. But to think that someone had to go and run away to find something for self-defense, he effectively had a big spear. They come back at the terrorist and they managed to get the terrorist under control to the point where they basically made the area safe for the police to come and do their thing. The police basically jumped on the guy, saw that he had what they thought was a bomb vest. He was still moving, so they all just backed away and shot him. He died. Well, tough. He deserves it, to be really honest with you. He's a terrorist. He went out to kill people. He murdered 2, injured a further 3. Good. He shouldn't be walking around the streets of Britain anyway. He should be in a cage for life. Anyway. My point here is, had we had the option to carry something for self-defense, at the absolute very least, pepper spray, perhaps the outcome could have been different. Maybe, maybe not. People keep making the argument, though, that the terrorist can use the same self-defense weapons. Well, again, I'd rather they use pepper spray than stab people to death. And at least if people did have the option to carry pepper spray, at least the outcome might change. At least people who are defenseless, at least they'll have a chance. That's all I'm saying. To me, it sickens me and saddens me that we can't carry anything at all for self-defense, and no one is even willing to talk about it. The vast majority of people in this country aren't even willing to talk about self-defense. It's just the police will come and save us, the terrorists will use the weapons, the criminals will use the weapons, the gangs will use the weapons. Well, like I said, I'd much rather they use a pepper spray or a taser or a baton than a kitchen knife or battery acid. It's a totally non-argument, and at this point I'm not even advocating for the right for us to carry our own firearms for self-defense. That's a whole separate argument altogether. Now, I am in favour of that. I do think we should be able to carry pistols for self-defence. I'm pretty sure this is going to cause a hell of an argument. But I think we should have the right to carry pistols for self-defence. Now, the police are now armed with guns. They didn't used to be. Now, we've always had an armed response unit in Britain. But more and more, we're seeing more armed police. Now, I'm glad to say I've never actually seen it in person. That said, last time I did see a police officer, he had a taser. That's probably the very first time in my lifetime that I've ever seen a policeman in Britain armed with a taser. I've never seen that before. I've never seen that growing up. Now maybe that's different for you if you're in a city or if you're in England. I think most police in England are now armed with a taser, but for me here in Scotland, seeing a policeman with a taser on his chest, it's actually very strange. And to be honest, I'm not in favour of it. I don't see why the police should have these weapons that we would actually be prosecuted for even having it in our own home. Now, the police are already armed with some sort of self-defence spray, as well as their baton and their standard issue stab vest, and some of them, if not most of them, are now carrying tasers, and you've also got armed response, which usually carry, I think it's some sort of variation of a G36C or an MP5, as well as their pistol, which is usually some sort of Glock. MP5s, G36, Glock, all illegal in Britain. You cannot own it, even for just shooting at a target range at a gun club, unless it's a 2-2 rimfire. The pistols, for what it's worth, is completely banned. Anyway, that's not really the point of the video. In fact, some of these knives here you see in front of you are actually illegal to carry. Not that that stops people. I mean, like I said, I think a lot of people are being wrongfully arrested for having something like this Leatherman in their pocket. Meanwhile, terrorists are just terrorising, to put it bluntly. They're carrying kitchen knives, they're carrying machetes, they're even getting hold of pistols and machine guns. They're making improvised explosives, and they're taking innocent people's lives, and that honestly does bother me. That's 2 people now that's not going home to their family. That's 2 people that won't be with their family at Christmas because of some scumbag with a knife. No amount of knife laws is going to change this. Look, I'm not saying immediately change the laws. I'm not saying every Tom, Dick and Harry should be walking around the street with a pistol or even a taser, right? But I just want us to talk about it, because whatever it is the government think they're doing right now is not working. And you know what? By passing more and more knife laws and gun laws, it's not making a damn difference. In fact, they seem to be making things worse. You could put out as many anti-knife campaigns as you want. Knives take lives, blah blah blah, whatever, right? You could set up as many knife arches as you want. You could stop and search as many people as you like. It's not going to make much of a difference. Yeah, you definitely are going to catch some people. I can't dispute that. They have caught a lot of people carrying things that they otherwise shouldn't be carrying. But what about the few that slip through the cracks? Look at the damage they've caused. And you know what? There hasn't even been any terrorism in Scotland, and I'm scared. Now, I think there has been one attack, and that was well over 10 years ago. That was the attack on Glasgow Airport. The terrorists rammed into the airport with a car with petrol in it, and they screwed up big time. They ended up setting fire to themselves, not hurting anyone else. That's the only act of terrorism that I'm aware of that's happened in Scotland. That said, with these attacks happening in England, that's making me scared to go to Edinburgh, because Edinburgh is very, very densely populated, especially this time of year. In fact, I couldn't even move. And to be honest with you, a part of me is thinking, what am I supposed to do right now if someone comes at me with a lorry? If I'm walking around Edinburgh with my family and there's someone driving a lorry on the streets, what am I supposed to do? Jump and hope for the best. What if one of them gets hold of a machine gun? What am I supposed to do? A knife-wielding maniac, what am I supposed to do? And I didn't really see that many police either. And even if I did, I'm not convinced that they'd be there to save me. Or anyone else. I think it's just something that we should consider. Please, can we just talk about this? That's all I've got to say. Please do let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you later.